Hi, and welcome to this groundbreak session for owners, main contractors, and subcontractors on how to level up QSHE processes through an integrated approach. On behalf of Procore, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. Before we get started, I'd just like to take a moment to remind you that throughout Groundbreak, we may be sharing forward-looking statements about our products or business. Please make sure that you're making purchasing decisions based on what is available today. And if you'd like to read the full text of this safe harbor statement, you can find it on our website. So let's get started. My name is Chris Carter and I am a product marketing manager here at Procore and the host of this session today. And the challenge we're really here today to address is how we go about connecting disconnected QSHE processes onto a single platform. Now, if we think about this, for many in this industry, the QSHE journey is still quite disconnected. There's still a lot of searching for paperwork, trying to keep track of project status, and that actually reduces the amount of time that you can be out on site observing safety behaviours. What we've seen in our new world of remote working and distributed sites as well is that the old staples such as the site visit are now much harder to execute on than they were before. So there's that real challenge of how you bring everything together onto one platform. Today we're going to be talking about Procore's Action Plans tool and how it can help you integrate QSHE processes into the course of construction. We're going to look at how it can help to deliver a complete picture of plan outcomes and also supporting documentation. Procore's Action Plans tool was actually designed to help you keep a structure for all quality assurance programs as well as safety programs. We're now going to dive into the Action Plans tool. Action plans can be created, as you can see, at the company or at the project level. And what's really cool about action plans is it's going to enable you to create different templates for different QSHE processes within the tool. So for instance, your BIM execution plan or your concrete pre-pour plan. So if you think of all the different processes that you have going on at your construction business, all of the different ITPs that you need to manage in one go, Procore's going to collect all of those in one destination within the Action Plans tool. Today's session, we're going to dig in and have a look at the one example of these plans, which is the formwork and concrete quality plan. As you can see from the fields here, we're able to change the name of the plan. We're able to assign a plan manager, who's often your QSHE manager, and also set the type of plan. We've already defined this as a quality plan, but you can create different types to enable you to segregate different plans. I can also associate it with locations on my project, such as the hallway or the hall turbine room. I can also give a basic description of the use of my plan, just so that everyone is on the same page. A neat feature as well is the ability to set action plan approvers. So someone, typically a site manager, who will sign off on the approved plan before it is passed on to the completed action plans receiver. And you see we have Tom Nocta here, who will be responsible for reviewing this approved plan before it's passed on. Now if we go into the breakdown of the action plan itself, we have sections and we have items. Now, a section enables you to group a bunch of items under a heading and enables you to manage and maintain that section separately to a following section. So in this case, we have a section for concrete pre-pour checks, and we have a section for columns and in situ walls, and there's other sections below. We can also set acceptance criteria to provide a little more detail on the expected criteria before this item can be signed off. In terms of references, you can also add in information from the specifications and the drawings tool within Procore. This is going to enable you to provide a bit more detail related to the item. And as you'd expect with Procore, all of this is linked to your existing specs and drawings. You've also got the ability to add in a photo in there as well, which is going to give you that insight into precisely what's needed to progress this to the next stage. What I'm also able to do is set a due date, which is going to help me in driving accountability on that project. And the cool thing about due dates is that you can set notifications to go out on that date so that all stakeholders receive notifications of their part of the plan. Now, in terms of assignees, one of the really neat features here Okay, so having been through some of those processes now around action plans and how Procore provides that single destination to tie together all of your quality and safety processes, we're going to speak to a contractor who's putting some of these individual component parts into action today. And that is HBS Southern. I'm going to be speaking to Charles Bull, who is Operations Director at HBS Southern. Now, HBS Southern is a subcontractor who are based in the south of the United Kingdom. They're an M&E contractor who work with some of the largest tier one house builders in the country. They also have a very, very successful solar division. And being an M&E contractor, the name kind of gives it away. Quality and safety processes are really at the heart of how they go about doing business, how they go about serving their customers. Quality and safety is also a huge issue and a huge focus here for contractors in the United Kingdom as a whole, and one where contractors do often seek to gain a competitive advantage on each other by emphasizing this level of Q&S on their projects. So I'm just going to hand over to Charles now, who's just going to introduce himself and a little bit about HBS Southern as a business.
Thanks, Chris. So Charles Ball, Operations Director at HBS Group Southern. Chris mentioned it's a family-run company. We've been operating since 1950. Our roots are in the mechanical subcontracting world. And in the past 70 years, the business has grown into an award-winning M&E business. And since 2008, we've expanded into renewables, starting off with solar thermal and going into the solar PV, which is very much our mainstream, to meet those market demands. And we've seen some good success there. Just to give the audience a bit of an idea of the scale of HBS, we are a small to medium-sized enterprise. We typically have around 150 subcontractors, electricians, plumbers, and apprentices working for us on numerous projects across different locations throughout the UK. And those projects vary in size. Again, we do number up to around 50 projects across the board on average. And those projects themselves, again, vary in size. So from tens to 100s of plots, all being at different stages of the building cycle. And one of the key things we have to do is track that. Our main role is as subcontractor. We do have experiences with our PV side of things and renewable energies as a main contractor, and we do draw upon that as a subcontractor. So we do like to think of ourselves as being one of the subcontractors who do know quite well some of our clients' needs, and we try and put that into our business operating model.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think particularly for house building and volume house building as a business, right? If you think about the 50 or so, clients that you have, having each of those projects having between 50 and 500 plots, and then a 19-stage checklist for each plot, and sometimes even more. When we first caught up, it really boggled my mind the kind of math and how you kind of kept track of those kind of individual requirements. And I know that, like a lot of contractors, when you were first approaching that, it was manual. It was an Excel-based process, and that inspections and the ability to deliver inspection templates was one of the things that drew you to the Procore product. So it'd be really cool if you could just give a little bit of context on how you're using the inspections product currently, and how it really helps and supports you as a business.
Of course, yeah. If you don't mind, Chris, I'm going to go back ever slightly in respect of just explaining to the audience. One of our key objectives before we went on digital transformation was to digitalize our QMS system. As you touched on, over these 70 years in operating, we do have a good system. We know what we do. We've got a good product, and we do go through all the relevant controls. But it was paper based. And it's not hard work, but it required a lot of energy to get that paperwork back to the office, filed, stored, be a hard copy filing, and then went off to some storage company we employ or on our server. Again, it's a very onerous system, and it wasn't scalable. So we had to think of a way to, how can we become better at this? We like what we're doing. We know what we're doing is right. Our clients are happy with it. We're doing all the necessary checks and more. But how we could become more efficient. And as you said, that was when we went to develop ourselves in this transformation, and you guys thankfully came to the table, and you've evidenced us the inspections. I was amazed at how quickly we managed to transfer our hard copies onto the actual Procore tool inspections. It's so easily done. At first we thought, right, we're going to give a lot of time for this, rejig our own inspections, but no, it was so easily done. We're up and running on digital systems straight away. Basically, that was one of our first things we achieved, and it was a really nice thing to have, because we had obviously many other changes going on with the whole digital transformation program, but this is one thing which we went perfectly well, and we've been improving upon that. So it's also one of the first things we trialed out there with our guys out on site at the inspections, because again, we wanted to make sure the adoption of the Procore for us was going to work with our subcontractors and our workforce. Inspections is something they do. It was easy for me to sell. E.g., basically, I tell the guys, no, you're doing it anyway. I'm not asking anything more. You're doing a hard copy. We're making it easier. You can do it on your phone, do it on your pad, anything you like. You get it before you do go home. And it really did fly. It went really well. And like I said, we started building from that. So, the way we use inspections has also developed as well. So I touched on, we use it for our QMS, and I'll go in a bit more detail on that if that's okay, but I'll just park it for a second. We've also expanded on the inspections tool. We use it now to manage the plot progress, and this is such a big thing for us at HBS, the plot progress, and we've touched on it with, we've got these 50 projects all live, different number of plots on each project, but again, each plot is at a different stage of the build, and we've got these 19 key stages, and all these key stages mean something to us at HBS. It all means something to our procurement team, it all means something to our contracts managers, it all means something to us directors, and it all means something. So every stage has a knock-on impact, and means someone else to do another job. So, and we never envisaged that when we ordered with you guys at Procore. So it was quite a nice thing that we worked together on that. And again, we're still developing that with your team members, which is a fantastic thing for us to have. And so this inspection tool, it's not just using quality control, which is kind of like the given, it's in its title, you inspect things, you assess it. But we've managed to adopt it and amalgamate it into such a system which we can do programming, plot progress, and review. And that ties in really nicely into analytics. Again, I'll dive into that a bit more if that's okay later. So it's really nice. It's quite a robust system. You can do different sorts of yes and no answers or not applicables. You can add photos. And what I've got at HBS is we've got the guys outside, obviously the installing engineers do their first fix, second fix, finance commissioning, quality checks, as per norm, but now digital. That comes in the office pretty much straight away. As soon as they do it, they click their create and submit button. It will come onto the screens into the office, and within a very quick time, one of my admin girls who's not a plumbing or electrician trade at all, we've developed a compliance guide. Okay, so in order for that inspection to pass internally, it's got to hit these little steps. Okay, and the team out there will review that inspection against those steps and mark it as closed or accepted, and that then means the subcontractors can get paid, and the whole process is just streamlined so much more. And this process, which in reality can take a day to get all the way from being inspected to approved, used to take months, because the guys inspect it, they keep the hard copy in their van or whatever. We chase them for it. Bring it in, guys. I'll bring it in when I'm in the office next. So it's a huge benefit, both us and our subcontractors. So it's been such an easy thing to implement. So the QMS has been totally transformed. I'd actually say it's been improved as well, because the fact that the guys can add photos to it is quite simply a godsend, because they'll do their hard copy, but then you'd have a whole other filing system with the photos. And again, depending on how admin heavy you are, each photo could be assigned to plots, or it could just be dumped there. It could be a chaos, But this is so nice that we've had scenarios where we've had an engineer come to site, do a first fix, and then the guy doing the finance commissioning is a different engineer in this scenario, and they've gone back and looked at at the initial engineer's inspection to see what they did and some photos to help them complete their finals. And again, it was all in one place. I had no interface. I didn't have to get involved in it at all, which was amazing. So it's enabled us to go digital, which is a massive thing. I think all businesses are going to be transferring it by particularly construction, but we've also in that process managed to improve the actual product we produce. That quality control system has been improved. So yeah, inspections we're using for that. Again, as I was also said, we've also managed to adapt it so that we can use it to track the plot progress.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that, and I love the journey that you've been on as a business in terms of really simplifying that, bringing something that's really, really tough and really complex and really nerve-wracking together into that one solution and that one tool. And I love, I think, just the kind of virtuous circle of it. Right? The data comes in, it's part of this really strong, really robust system that the site teams really like using on a day-to-day basis, which means that you're getting that quality data through. I think as well, if we can touch just really quickly on the analytics, because once that's in and you've got your checklists there, I think one of the great features of Procore is just how you can kind of report on that and giving you as an operations director such peace of mind as well.
Yeah, definitely. So I did say I was going to analytics, but I did go off on one. Yeah, exactly that. So the Procore, we're capturing that data via the inspection tool. Okay. I think I've said enough on that. We're very impressed with that. But the analytics takes another step further for us. Again, another improvement. It takes that data and presents it in a format which is standardized, and again, it enables us to see the granular detail if we want to see granular detail very quickly, very easily, or if we want to take it high level, we can take it high level. What we've also done is using analytics and data which is captured via the inspections, we can cross-reference. What I mean by that is, again, these key stages which we're now tracking via the inspections. If my contracts manager has said we've completed first fix on a certain plot, we can see straight away very easily if the engineer on site has completed their first fix inspection quality control or quality check sheet. And again, if they haven't, raise a flag, right, and it gets done straight away. In fact, we'll tell the contracts managers off that stage isn't completed until you see that first fix quality inspection on the dashboard. So it brings it into an environment or an atmosphere which is so easily used and visible for everyone to see and work from. Again, the transparency is there. What I love is the fact that if I've got a contracts manager go away, if I can jump in and manage those projects whilst he's there on holiday, or someone else can, and it's all there. The stress of picking things up and dropping them again isn't there. It's all in one place, which is fantastic. And analytics produces that into it. Well, analytics for me is a word I never thought I'd ever use. And because especially just never really come across any conversations I've had until the last 18 months, really. But I'm so impressed by it, and we are still very much on the early concept stages for us. We're just getting ourselves involved in it, but we're using it as best we can, and I'm really quite pleased with the support we've had from yourselves. Is we're developing these and again making these bespoke charts for us, and they're having such a business change on our end. It's fantastic. And what's really nice is, again, I think internal benefit is there. I think hopefully I put that across. But as in our business management and quality control and things like this, is what's also very nice is it puts in a format which is so easily distributed to my clients. Again, it's in a very professional format. I can filter it in any way. I can filter it by developer, by site, or by certain contracts manager in so many different ways that I can show to them the pressure points which we're facing. It may be, for example, look, Mr. Developer, I really need your help here. I've got 20 plots stacking up all that dry liner stage, which means that sooner or later, that we're going to have an awful lot of second fixes coming through. Can we do something about that? Can you help me out? Can we try and put some pressure on dry liner and start knocking these down? So it helps us have that conversation, because quite often, pre-analytics and pre-Procore, we talk about a developer, and we've got a good relationship with them. Like quite often it'll be put meat on the bone, guys. Come really show us what is the issue you've got. Don't just talk about it. Give me some facts, and the Procore and analytics paired together give us that. They give us the meat on the bone. They give us the facts which we can share in a way which is so hard to challenge. It makes my job so much easier when I have those conversations.
100%, and I think you've really shown us where the rubber hits the road, and where we like to talk as a business about, improving the lives of everyone in construction, from the owners through to the main contractors to the subcontractors. But at every business, there'll be someone like you who's having to hold contractors to account. And we're so proud to be on that journey with you. And just thank you so much for your time today. And I think, to everyone here, it's clear your passion for driving quality and driving compliance, within your business. And we'll continue innovating to give you the tools to be able to do that. So thank you so much, Charles. It's been a pleasure connecting with you today.
No problem, Chris. Thanks for your time.